you need to, instead of having these panels in this much length, you might want to have a, first thing you will remove the back panel, because you will not need the back panel. So what you will do in the carcass, you can see carcass panel visibility. You don't need the back panel. So what you will do, you will just turn off the back panel and the back panel will get removed. Now, all the panels on these four sides, you would not want it to have this much depth, right? Right now it's 560 mm depth or 600 mm depth, but you just want a frame here. So what you will do is, in the carcass option, here you have carcass panel extension option. So you will click on the drop down next to it, and here you can see that there is an option for you to modify the height and width in terms of extension parameters, meaning whatever dimension the cabinet has, you can actually change it by creating an extension. What you need to do is that you need to have a minus extension, because extension in a positive direction means that the like I'll show you, we will do the extension for the width because that is what we require. So you can see like we are on the right side of the cabinet, so you can see if I create 100 mm here, then extension is created in the way that it is a positive extension. There is a I'm so sorry, I didn't mention one very critical thing. So when you're going into the carcass option here, when you're going into carcass panel extension, you'll be able to see the left panel, right panel, top and bottom panel. All the panels which are live, like which has the visibility turned on. If there was a back panel, it would show back panel here also. Whatever you turn off will not be shown here. So you can see that whatever panel you want to modify, let's say you want to modify the top panel, toggle into that panel. Let's say top panel, right? Then you go into top panel, and here you will be changing the depth extension. So top panels, the top and bottom, if you create a positive value here, then it will extend further. But you don't need an extension. You need to have a reduction. So let's say if you put minus 100, so it will go inside. In this way, what you need is the cabinet. You need an extension of if it is a 560 cabinet and you want to have 100 as a as the frame, then what you need to do is that you need to have an extension of minus 460. So if you create that, then a 100 extension here is created. The same thing you would be doing with the rest of the panels also. Like here you can see, right, in the left panel as well, in the depth, we will create an extension here of minus 460. Same thing you will do with the right panel as well. You'll create an extension of minus 460. Then same thing we will do with the bottom panel as well. We'll create an extension of minus 460. So you can see now that this has become like a frame. It has become like a frame, right? And you just need to place it there in your particular area. And you also need to modify, we had already checked that the height of the area available is 700. So what you will do is in the height, we'll make it a 700 unit. And we'll also create an elevation here. You can see that in my elevation view here, you can see if you go into home and dimensions, you can see this small area is this 12 area is the height of the tile, your floor tile, and this 150 is the height of your the 150 totally is your height of the platform that you had created. If you remember, you had created a 150 shape there. So you can see that this is a 150 area. If you in case find it difficult to understand what is the elevation, you don't need to calculate, you just need to check with the
Yeah.
dimension. And sorry, you just need to check with the dimension tool and you'll be able to input it correctly. So let's say I am just selecting this cabinet, and here in the position and rotation tool, in the y coordinate of this cabinet, I'll put 150 So in that case, it'll go into 150 Then what I'll do is that I'll simply go into the floor plan option. What I'll do is that I'll simply select this particular cabinet and I'll place it in this area. Like you can see that you can place it near this particular area. However, you would, because this does not have a panel anywhere, it would be slightly difficult for you to place it exactly in that area. So what you will do is that you'll go into the floor plan option here, and herein you use the line tool. Like go into the go into the draw option, and you have a line tool. You can simply create a line here for your reference purpose. Like if you select the line tool, you can just create a line here for your reference purpose. Let's say you're creating this line, and that's this particular line. You need to move it by 600 mm, because that is the size of the platform. You're creating a reference line basically for yourself. So you're creating a reference line here, and this particular line, you have the reference here. So you can simply select this and place it on this particular area. Let's say if this is the line is here, and if you want any other reference here, you can create any other reference that you want. You can just use the line tool as a reference and then place the cabinet accordingly. Like you can place your cabinet here, it is placed, right? Then when you go into the 3D, you'll be able to see that your cabinet is placed inside this particular area, with the platform having a small extension, like how countertop extensions usually work. So you can actually place it anywhere that you want. If you go ahead and create another furnishing, let's say if you have another base unit, let's say, or if you just control C and control V this, then you can make another cabinet here, and you can place it next to it. And if you want to place any cabinet, let's say I am drawing a straight line here for my reference. And what I'll do is that I'll select this cabinet and I'll move it to the edge. I move it to the edge here, and then I can place any cabinet that I want. I can snap it next to it, and I can go into the 3D option, and you can see that these cabinets are getting added accordingly. If I want to modify, you don't really need to go ahead and do the entire change of the carcass for every particular cabinet, because what you can do is that you can simply place the particular carcass, and then you can modify the width. Let's say you want a 900 unit here, modify the width, and then change the shutter. If you want to double, if you want a shutter mechanism to be double swing, you can simply go into double swing and just change it to a double swing shutter, right? So you can actually make modifications according to your requirement to this particular area, and this is how your cabinet will work. This is not snapped correctly, so I'll just snap it correctly. So if you find it difficult or any, because it's a semi-modular kitchen, in case you find it, you find have any problem, then you can use the offset tool and you can select the uh, endpoints of the particular cabinet. Like you can select point to point and it will snap exactly correctly. You can select both the points and snap it correctly. You can see that this is how your cabinets are getting added. Now, in between these cabinets, if you want to add any panel, let's say in between this you want to add a panel, you want to add a panel here for support, and then you want to continue with your drawers or cabinets or however it is, right? So you can do that. You can go ahead and go into insert, and you furnish under all. In furnish, under all, you have an option of custom panel. So you can go ahead and add a custom panel here. You can see vertical custom panels here, and you can see base unit panels. You can simply select and place it here. And if you select this panel, you can go into the rotation here, and you can change the elevation to 150 like the cabinets. And if you want to rotate it like this one, I want to rotate it, so I have rotated it here. I can also change the dimension of it. If I select dimension, I can select that the uh, depth of it is 500. The depth of uh, the particular panel I will decide it. Width, I'll make it 500, which is the height that is required. And if I check the floor plan and I go into dimension, I can see that the dimension that I would require here is around is 540 around. So I'll go into 3D and I'll select this, and in dimension, in the depth, I'll make it 540. And in the floor plan, when I go into this, I'll again select the offset tool, and I will select the end of the panel, and I'll select the end of the cabinet as per my requirement. I'll select this, and then when I go into 3D, you can see that the panel is installed here. If you want to make any more cabinets accordingly, you can keep creating more cabinets here. Of course, the wall cabinets are something that does not interfere with the semi-modular nature of the kitchen. So you can simply go to insert, furnish, you can go into kitchen, and here you have wall units. You can go ahead and add any wall unit that you want. Like if you want a shutter unit, you can just go ahead and create the shutter unit that you want. Let's say I'm adding a shutter unit here. You can create anything that you want. So here, if I want to modify it again, I can modify it. So wall units are usually not an issue. It's the base unit which you might have a problem with. So you can go ahead and create such things here. Then a lot of times for you will have to add drawers and all as well. So when you're going to furnish, you will get your base units. Here you have drawer units, say. So if I'm adding a drawer unit, let's say I'm adding this drawer unit here. So again, I'm placing it here. I will have to go through the entire process of creating this as semi-modular nature. What you can do to save time, if you work with a lot of semi-modular kitchen, you can create this configuration in your seller portal and keep it and use it like you can make a semi-modular section for you and modify it one and publish it. So in that case, it will be available always. So first thing you will do is turn off the countertop. Then you will go into the carcass option. Here in carcass, you will go ahead and change the type into a full panel. Once you have made this a full panel, you will go ahead and turn off the visibility of the back panel, which is not required. Then in your back panel, you will have the option of your skirting as well, where you do not want the skirting. So you will turn off the skirting visibility of your front skirting. It will get turned off. Then in dimension, you will go ahead, like we had a dimension of 700 mm. So we'll create the height of 700 mm here. Then all your panels that are there in the carcass, you will go ahead and go into the carcass option here, and in carcass panel extension, you will make the changes here again of you wanted minus 400 like earlier. So you will go ahead and make a change of all the panels here of minus 460. So we are going ahead and making minus 460 here. For the top panel also, we would require the top to have minus 460. Then even for the bottom panel, we'll want it to have minus 460. So all the panels, you can see, sorry, I made a mistake here. In left also, you do not want the right here. You want the left to be minus 460. Now it's correct. So now you can see that the box here is still there. If you want to have, if you want to change it to a wire basket or anything, because you might not want a box here, then you can just select the particular drawer. You can go into the drawer and in accessories type, you can just change it to basket. And here, when you change it to basket, you can select whichever basket you want. Let's say I'm selecting this particular basket, and this will get modified. Same thing, if you want to change this also, you can change it to basket. And here, you can select whichever basket you want, basically. Let's say I'm selecting plain basket here. Now these baskets are already added here. You can see, you can go into the floor plan here, and you can place the panel here. And if you want, you can always use the, for semi-modular kitchens, I would actually suggest you to use the offset tool so that it's correctly added everywhere. And you can see that this is now added. Then if you go into the 3D option here, sorry, we have to elevate it as well. Here in Select it, and in position and rotation in the y-axis, just put 150 here, which was the elevation of all the cabinets. You can see that this is now added. Now, if you look at it, if you want another panel on this side, because that's what they usually do, that they put, here there's one panel, and on this side as well there's one panel. So you can just go into the floor plan option, you can select this particular panel, and you can do control C and control V, and you can place another panel here as well. So and if you want to use the offset tool, you can use the offset tool as well. So you can actually modify it. The depth is a little too much here, so in dimensions we will change the depth to 450 and 440. So dimension, we will change it to 440, and same this one also, we will change it to 440. You can see that in this particular way, the cabinets can be created, right? Wherever you want a support, you can create it. And in this way, your semi-modular kitchen also can be created. This is how you would typically create a semi-modular kitchen, because this is a very open industry where different people have different practices. We wanted to keep the session slightly open, where you can ask questions of the way you modify or you use the you have your process. So we will keep the question and answer session now, so that you guys can ask us how to modify anything, and we can answer your queries accordingly. So I think we had already received one query recently. So if you want, you can let us know what was the questions that you have now. Mr. Sunil Kumar had already asked that instead of deducting each panel size, we can hide back panel and can give cabinet depth of 100 mm. It works, right? Uh, See, technically it works in terms of a shutter unit. It does work, but when you are using any drawer unit or any other unit with an accessory, it becomes a problem. But in case of a shutter unit, it definitely works. What Mr. Sunil is asking us is that, if suppose instead of changing the entire for the benefit of everyone present, if we go for a shutter unit here and we place the shutter unit here, then instead of first let us reduce the countertop and the skirting options. If we use the front, so what Mr. Sunil is saying is that, suppose if in the visibility we turn off the back is turned off, and then instead we change the depth from 60 to 100 mm. So what happens? The cabinet becomes this way. So it is okay. You can use this particular process also. There is no problem as such. But the only thing is that for a drawer unit or anything which has an accessory or a depth, it becomes a problem. Otherwise, you can definitely use this process as well, right? So anyone else has any other question? Mr. Guru had a question, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, ma'am. That skirting you told now, that skirting height, how to change that skirting height? Standard is 100 mm, but we required 75 mm or 80
Surely.
mm. How to,
Uh,
hello?
so, yes, I'll tell you
How to
about this also.
skirting height.
Yes, yes, I'll just tell you, Mr. Guru. So suppose if this is the cabinet, then when you go into construction, let's just turn on the skirting for the sake of discussion now. The front skirting, I'll
Yes.
turn it on,
Oh,
right? So here,
yes, ma'am.
if two types of skirtings that you have, right? When you go into construction, in the skirting options, you have wooden skirting and non-wooden skirting. So
Okay, ma'am.
non-wooden skirting is basically a PVC skirting or
Yes, yes,
whatever.
skirting.
So when you select non-wooden skirting, let's say I'm selecting non-wooden skirting now, the all the skirting options appear here, whatever finish you have. And here inside this, you have multiple skirting heights also. So for non-wooden skirting, the height is defined from the SKU. Because the product is only like that. Now you cannot cut a
Okay,
PVC skirting height and put, right. Different skirting heights
yes.
are there. So you need to, if you're putting Let's say 150 if you're selecting, then if you select 150 here, then the skirting will increase. See, it has become 150. Now you
Yes,
might
yes.
ask, how do I make the change in, how do I have different SKUs? So you go into your admin portal. When you go into your admin portal, in your catalog, you'll have finishes. I'm sorry, you'll have hardware. In hardware, you'll have skirting option. You'll have skirting here. When you go into skirting, all these are your skirting options available. Okay. So for
Okay.
black, there is already 100, 130,
That
150,
is
let's
one
say.
is.
You want 150 also. So what you'll do, clone this in the same group. In the
Uh-huh.
same group, you clone it and you name it as 75. You wanted 75, no? So 75, let's say. And you submit it. Then another same thing of a will get created. Okay, same thing will get created, but now you have to go into SKU properties of that 75 thing, and here in product dimension, instead of 100 is there, you make it 75. Okay,
Okay, okay.
when you make it
Uh,
75, you update it. Okay, you created one different SKU now. Now, when you go into the design portal, just refresh it once so that it is synced with the admin portal. You created an SKU, right? So you can just refresh it once. Then all the new SKU that you created will be shown. And when it is shown, you can again change skirting there, and then 75 will also be a part. So if it is a PVC skirting, non-wooden skirting, you have to change the SKU. Like now, if I go into 3D, I'll show you. So now in this particular cabinet, let's select this and let's go into the skirting option here. Here, let's say I'm again selecting wooden. Here you can see that I have a 75 option here also now. So if I
okay,
select
okay.
70, I'll click on 75 and the shut it will become 75 Okay. But this is for non-wooden. If it's
Non
a
okay.
wooden skirting, then you can select wooden skirting here itself. And as soon as you select wooden skirting, here the skirting height will become an option here. You'll get an option here itself. So if you want to make it
Okay, okay.
150, you can just 150, it will become wooden,
Uh,
right?
yes, ma'am, yes. Okay. And one more
So
doubt is
yes, surely.
that we will put in all units in one time. After we will change all dimension,
All dimensions.
all cabinets dimension. We kept in all units one time. How
So you select the what dimension do you want to change?
that you told now that the back panel and side panels dimensions is less for
So
width.
all that
width.
you cannot do for like everything together you cannot do. You
I
can
see.
definitely make certain, like if you click on shift and you keep selecting, then you will multi-select the cabinets. Okay, then there are
Yes.
some common properties of this that you can change. Like you can
Okay.
change materials, you can change skirting, countertop. These and all are common properties. You can change all this here, but construction and all you'll have to go individually.
I think we can do copy and paste.
Copy and paste for what?
For the question what he has asked.
um
For all cabinets, we copy and paste. Huh?
no, you
Even that
cannot
is,
copy.
we can copy and paste, and we can increase the size of the cabinet, shutter and canvas.
Okay.
We can try.
Basically, that's what I had. We were discussing earlier. You don't need to go into each cabinet and then make changes. You can make one cabinet and then Control C, Control V, and then keep placing next to each other. And what modifications you want, you can modify. That's how we made this cabinet. No, we just
Yeah,
control
correct.
use Control C and Control V, and then we made it a double shutter or however we want.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Ma'am. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next question, please.
I'm having difficulty in making the dado tile area.
Shadow tile area.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, what you will do is I'll just delete this. Okay, I'll delete the shadow tile itself. So this is your cabinet,
Countertop.
right?
Correct.
This
Correct.
this is your platform. Now, what you will do is that you will select the wall. and you will go into tiling and cutting tool. In the tiling and cutting tool, the outline of that particular wall will be shown, and all the cabinets that you have added will also be shown. So what you will do is you'll go into add shape, and here you'll select line or any tool, right? You select line, and then you can simply select the start point of your tiling, next point.
Okay.
Then if the height, you just need to input the height in your keyboard, let's say 600 mm, input the height, and then you can create, it will snap immediately, and then the shape will get created. Just click on apply, and then you select this particular shape, and the property of it will show here. Here in the shape, you can give it a tiling property, and in tiling pattern, you can make whatever modifications you want. Like if you want to change pattern, let's say I'm changing the pattern here. If you want to change tile size, let's say I'm making the tile size changed here. So I'll set it. Then if you want to change any pattern or anything, you can do that. And when you do that, you can see that the tiling is added in that particular area,
Okay.
right?
So only thing is, first
That
thing
is
we have
one.
to select the wall. So, okay, I'm getting it because
Yes.
other thing is fine.
First select the wall and go into tiling and cutting tool here. Whichever wall you want. Let's say this wall you want, then you can simply select this wall, right?
Okay.
Whichever wall you want.
What is this cutting tool? So,
When you select it,
Tiling.
tiling and cutting tool will show here.
okay, tile and okay, done. Okay, fine.
Right? Great.
Ma'am, once
Okay.
again, tell me how to add the countertop.
This countertop you mean?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So what you will do is you will again select the wall, and you'll go into tiling and cutting, right? Here, like how we added a shape, right, for this particular cabinet, what you will do will add a shape. You'll use the line tool, and you'll add a shape according to wherever you want, like how we had done for the wall tile, right? You'll simply add a shape here, and once you've added a shape, you'll click on apply, and you can select the particular shape, and here you can give it a property of, instead of tiling, you can give it a property of extrude, because it's an extrusion that you want. And then you'll define the depth, how much it has to extrude. It has to extrude by 600 mm, then you'll apply 600 and click on it. And when you go back, you can see that there is an extrusion that is created like this,
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
right? Instead of tiling, you'll give it an extrusion property.
Okay, 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 thank you.
No problem. And one more thing I wanted to tell everyone is that, see, when you look at the wall section elevation here, you can see that these cabinets are all shown here. But sometimes what happens, some of you people might have a issue that these cabinets are not shown. Why? Because in your snap, like when you go into the snap tool here, the wall section elevation, like the range here might be less, so you can increase the viewing range here, wall section view distance here. If you increase it, if you're not able to see the cabinets here, then you can increase it slightly, and it, especially people who are using the concept of decreasing the depth of the cabinet, these people, you please make it 600 or 700 here, and in your elevation the cabinets will start showing. This basically defines that from the wall till how much distance you want the cabinets to be shown in your elevation. So you can increase it, it will start showing. Anyone else has any other query? Yes, Mr. Prabhu.
Yeah, I have a similar question regarding the countertop. When we go to the
Okay.
floor plan, we can't see those extrusions, whatever the 600 we have created. No? You cannot see those in plan
In plan, you cannot see
plan mode, floor plan mode.
this expressions. We don't show this expression because this is not something which is related to flow plan, right?
Yes, but when I want to print that floor plan with rich affairs, how do I show that then?
Okay. So what you're saying is, in rich flow plan,
I
you are
cannot
not
see the
able to.
platform.
Okay. So what you can do is that currently you can actually take a, you go to 3D, and in here you can see it from the top view. And when you see it from the top view, and you can go into the orthographic camera here,
Mhm.
You do that, you can still, like, you can see this particular cabinets accordingly. But
Mm.
see, the problem that we also face is that if we show this extrusion, then we'll have to show the platform also, and that
Yes.
creates confusion for people. Hence, we do not
So
show extrusion.
how do I material, apply the material for this extrusion?
You can go ahead and like, if you look at the flow, like, let's say for this particular thing,
Granite or something.
oil tiling and cutting tool, if you select
Okay.
this, here you have materials, right? So you can go ahead and add whatever you want here. If you want countertop, you can go ahead to countertop, add, like, let's say whatever you want, granite, Himalayan white. Then if you go countertop. But if you wanted to add a countertop only, then you would probably use the countertop.
Yeah,
If you
actually
want
it's
to add
better
any,
now to use the countertops of the carcasses.
yeah, but we are discussing semi-modular kitchens, right? So semi-modular kitchen
Yes.
platforms. Otherwise, for normal things, so of course, the if you look at a normal cabinet, already your countertop will be added only in that. Like,
Yes.
let's particular cabinet, your that countertop is already added there.
Yep.
Because we're discussing semi-modular kitchen, that's the reason why this is being done like, right? Great. Neelam,
Okay. Thank you.
no problem. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. In elevation view, while we are generating elevation, we will see the wall also, right?
Yeah, you will see. See,
I I want to see only modular. Is it possible?
you don't want
I
to
want
see
to see
wall.
only mod. I don't want to see the wall. I only want to
Use
see the
case of
modular. I don't want
what
to
is the
confuse
use?
the client. That's why.
I mean,
And
the wall is the reference,
for
right?
the yes, for the production, I want to give only the modulars, not the wall. That's why I can't. I don't want to see the wall. Is it possible?
I mean, this is a slightly different request because we have never had a request where they don't want to see the wall, because wall is usually the reference. So we haven't got a request as such. We don't support it that you don't show the wall at all, because the drawings reference is the wall, right? For it to create anything, also it takes a reference of wall.
We don't charge per square feet, sir.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
charge
And if
like
I
one
go
modular
to
kind of
wall elevation,
Sorry.
hello. Now I can see that the cabinet C1,
that pricing side.
right? I have to remove that or edit that. So how can I do that?
Yeah, and like we do interior like with 20 lakhs.
Sorry, there's a lot of background noise, and I'm not. Yeah, you're saying here instead of C1, C2, you want to modify it.
Yes.
Why do you want to modify it? Because these are basically references, okay? What happens is, see, if this is an elevation in anything, like if my presentation, if I do a presentation or anything, here, let's say if I'm adding a dynamic component or any detail, right? This
Okay.
C1 is a reference for it. This
So
C1 you can see.
my clients will ask like, what is that C1? What is that C2? What is that C4? So I don't want to answer for all that things. So I just want to remove all that things. So is it possible to remove that thing?
Like, if you feel that basically this is your reference, but if you
Reference
feel,
point, we know that like me and my carpenter or whoever, we can understand that things. But if I send the
then
elevation,
do one.
wall elevation to my clients, the client will be answering, questioning for me like, what is this before? So I just want to remove.
Okay, then do one thing. You add a elevation from this view. Okay, then
Okay.
select this here, and then you can see this is a camera point elevation. Here nothing will come. To send this.
Okay. So this I can show in rich view elevation.
No, this
If
you
I
cannot
go
show
to
in it. No, you
if I
cannot
go
add
to
a rich.
view, this view I can't show this.
No, you
So
cannot
how
add a
do
rich
I
view.
So how do I know that what all laminates color I gave in this? This is not possible.
No, we support ridge view elevation in the elevation view. If you take simply a camera elevation, it's a very simple elevation basically. So it doesn't provide all that, but
So it will
the
come like a line
sorry, it will come like a drawing.
drawing. So no cabinets color, what laminates we gave,
Like
like which elevation it won't come.
it will not show. Like how this will show like this, right?
Yeah,
It will not show
yes.
that. No.
That won't
It's
show.
technically I find it a little difficult because the C1 C2 are basically references. If we remove that, right, then it
Yeah,
sort
I'm
of
just no, I
entire plan for a lot of things. So I'm really sorry, but this is not a request that we can take up.
oh, is it
But
okay?
I'm really sorry, but the thing is, these are references, and while you might be only designing, we have a lot of clients who manufacture with us, and they send out the products from the warehouse itself. So it is
Okay.
very critical for them to have references in their drawings at all point, and we have to work from a point of view of a lot of clients, right?
Okay. So do we
So
have any option like if we go to camera elevation, can we give a laminates color or rich elevation? Do you have option for that?
you can do this. See, you can basically take this elevation, and if you are really particular, you can take a 3D. You can take the
That I
uh,
can. Yeah, that I can do.
you can
Thank
do a
you.
orthographic camera and take it if you
Yeah,
are
that I
like
can do. That I can do. I no, I'm just asking about the elevation. This option I know. Thank you.
this you can do, right? But
Yes.
it's not possible for us to remove the annotation. Sorry.
Fine. Thank you.
Hello, this is Panna.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi. I just had a doubt about lighting. What is happening is when I go to the lighting part, no, if I keep the intensity as 4, it's becoming too less. And if I keep it as 5, it's becoming too much. How do I deal with it?
Um, is it okay if we take up this in tomorrow's session, because we are actually doing a session on lighting itself tomorrow,
Okay, okay, fine.
right? Please do
No
attend
issues.
tomorrow's session. It's basically on rendering and light settings only. So maybe your issue will be cleared out in that. But one small suggestion I would give is that uh, just check how many light sources you have, and if you have multiple light sources, then it might be a problem,
Okay.
which I'll show tomorrow actually, how to check multiple light sources. I'll really request if you give us tomorrow's session, then you'll be able to understand this a bit more.
Sure, sure. Thank you. Thank
Okay, no problem. Is there any other query that we need to take up? Murray? Yeah, Anjani Yulu Murray.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, Manu. When you are seeing the elevation, hello,
Sorry?
when you are seeing the base unit elevation, we can see the elevation. But when we are working on loft, we can't see the elevation part.
Sorry, I did not understand. Sorry.
When we are working on base units, now you are said now in the kitchen, we can see
When you're
the
working on
elevation part
base,
of a base kitchen base. But when I am working on loft unit, I can't get any elevation of that.
if you're working on loft unit, you can't see elevation.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Okay, if you are inserting any furniture, let's say I'm inserting a loft here. If I'm inserting a loft here, then in elevation, you can see this, right?
Yes.
Then what is the problem?
Can I not
No, he
see
is
that?
asking for a civil loft.
Yes.
Okay. If you are looking at this, going to furnish in base
Same like on
C
the top.
frame.
What does that?
This is C frame, right? So when you go into this, you can position it according to your requirement. Then when you go into this, you can go into elevation. Yeah, so but that's what I was saying, right? Ki if suppose if you're placing the loft away, right? It's not in the 100 mm distance. So you go into snap settings here in the wall elevation viewpoint, change the range, like because you want more range, make it 800 or something. Then when you go into the elevation here, you will see it because you're
Or
placing
we
the loft away, right?
can we have a cut and copy and paste of the countertop?
Countertop where?
Uh, can we copy the countertop and put it in the loft space? That is also
No,
one
you
more option
can't.
available, right?
It's cutting. Like you can, not like that. See, if you go into the tiling and cutting tool and you select this particular tool, right? You can see Control C, Control V. Because you can you get one option and then you can move it again. But the thing is, it is. I don't suggest this because placing this becomes a little difficult. So I would still suggest you add a shape. You add another shape and then make a loft. Like just add a shape, make a loft here. Like however loft you want, you just make a loft here. You just have to extrude it by like 600 mm. You can make the loft here. Just see, yeah, no, whatever elevation you want to give this, you can give it the elevation, and the loft will be done. And the only thing about you not seeing is that just change the wall elevation view distance here, and whatever is placed in, like basically from the floor plan, whatever is the distance of, you have put 800, then whatever is at a distance of till 800, right? It will capture whatever cabinets are there, it will capture that in the elevation view. So make sure you increase it will start showing. Was I able to help you? Marie, was I able to help you? Okay, maybe we'll get back to them again. Avinash?
Hello. Hi, that's good evening. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Hi, can you go to 3D ones? I have some down.
Yes.
Same design. Yeah. If it is semi-modular means we are removing the skirting after with existing countertop if there is L clamp at the bottom
Okay.
between the two cabinets. Hello.
Hmm. Yeah.
Here, if there is the L clamp wherever the cursor is there, na, how can you place
Hmm.
between the units side by side for the L clamp? We can use the filler over there.
Yeah, you can use a filler. Like if there's a L clamp here, you don't want to have a cabinet, you can add a filler in between. That should not be
How
a problem.
if you take double filler or it is single filler uh, for fixing?
Sorry,
Did you get my point?
sorry, I did not get your point.
Uh, if there is the L clamp at the bottom of the countertop
Yeah.
for semi-modular kitchens,
Okay.
uh, how to place both units side by side? Then the gap will be there. Now, if it is some the thickness of the 40 or something, the metal L
Two
clamp.
currently. It's a filler at side, right?
Yes, yes.
How to place a filler at side? I mean, it's a 3D software, and technically,
Different
whatever you do,
ratio.
huh?
Yeah, tell me.
Technically, what you do at site right now, you do it now here also. Like it's a filler, right? So add a filler
Yes.
here and place it.
And okay.
Instead of like right now, you're adding like what is the technical solution? That the filler gets added, right? So you add
Yeah,
a filler only here.
yeah, yeah. That's why I'm asking. Is it possible like that in this
Yeah,
kitchen
yeah,
also
you
we
have
can do
filler
like that?
options already. Yeah, you have the filler already in this. You have filler options, right? So go ahead
Yeah.
and add select a filler. You have front panel only filler, so you can go ahead and select a filler here, where only the front panel will be seen. You can
Yes.
remove the uh, countertop from this and the skirting option from this. Let's say skirting option the front, you turn it off. Then you give it an elevation of 150 mm like the rest of your cabinets. Let's say I'm giving a 150 elevation here. And when you go into the floor plan, you can just place it next to the other cabinet, right?
Okay. And I have
That's
one another doubt. After placing the loft, we need to take the top pillar, no? How to
that
take the top pillar above the loft?
so like when you go into furnish, you go into filler. Like let's say you go into
I
filler.
have seen it was coming with the cabinet while we are placing in the bedrooms.
I'm sorry.
It was showing with the fillers. Loft unit, it was showing with fillers.
You can I'm not sure about that, but if you want to add any filler, then you can just use a toilet filler here, and you can take a horizontal filler, like
Yeah.
just select a horizontal filler, then let's say actually if you're placing a top in the top right,
Yes, yes.
I always find it easier to use a custom panel there. So you can go ahead and use a custom panel also if you want. The custom panel, you have vertical custom panels or horizontal custom panels, right? So
Yes.
select a vertical
So we
custom
can use these panels only.
panel. Yeah, in the vertical custom panels, just place it. You make the dimensions however you want. Let's say you want the dimensions 2100. No, sorry, you want it to be 150
100.
mm, and this one to be like let's say 2400 or however you want, right? You place it
Okay.
like this, and you can change the rotation in the
Position.
y-axis. You put like 2400 if you want to make it in that height, and then
Yeah.
when you go into the plan, you can actually place it accordingly. So you can just use
Okay.
the offset tool if you want, and place it. It will get placed there, and that should be fine for you. Like however you want. You might not you understood, no? You just place
Yes.
it there, open the cabinet, it will get done. You can control C and control V and place another one also.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Thank you so
One
much.
space, no problem. One space.
Good evening, Rishibarna. I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
Firstly, the rich panel, I'm unable to access the rich panel view. It says can't toggle outside elevation view or something.
Like if you go into the elevation view, then you go
Yeah.
into view. You are saying rich elevation view are not able to.
So this is disabled. Like it's showing it's not highlighted. Rich
So
panel
you are
view.
generating the elevation by camera point. It's like this, right?
Yes, it is like this.
So basically what you're doing is generating a camera point elevation. Okay, you are doing add elevation view from here. We
Yes.
don't support visual elevation in the camera point elevation. So what you need to do is go into the 3D, select the wall,
Okay.
and generate wall section elevation view. Okay.
Oh, okay.
This elevation, when you generate, you will see all the elevations which has wall written next to it. If you click on this, then you can see the elevation it will show. It will definitely show. But the ones which are adding from here, these are camera point elevations. Basically,
Camera
what you're
point
doing,
elevation.
add elevation you're doing, you're defining the camera point view, and it only
Yes.
shows like it just shows a like how you click a camera. Right? It just
Camera.
shows a
Yes.
line you can see. That's all.
Okay.
That is why you're not able to see it. Do the wall section elevation note and you'll be able to see it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'll try that.
Right? Anything else? Okay, if there are no further questions, then we will hope to see all of you guys tomorrow for the rendering and lighting session. I'm sure a lot of you people have queries about rendering and lighting because these are very important topics, and we expect answering again tomorrow, of course. Your have posted the link on your group, and if anyone has not yet received the detail, then what I'm doing is I'm just posting the link on this particular chat also, so that people can keep it as a reference. I'm putting it in the chat here. So please use this link and join us tomorrow. I'm extremely sorry. Purnima had asked that provide production drawings that are only for how to get internal drawings. When you go into the elevation view here, you have a skeleton view. When you click on the skeleton view, you can see only the internals. So Purnima, you should be able to do it like this. Closing the session now. So that's it for tomorrow. We'll expect to see everyone tomorrow for the rendering and lighting session.
Thank you.
Hi, that's, thank you for the session.
Thank you.